want you to go down all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah.
All the way to the soffit.
Making like soffit vents, like those styrofoam things, you know, Trey?
Right.
They're normally there.
Right.
He said just that we do that with this. To get the air up here because it's a good 2 feet down below to get to the soffit.
Well, I told you what I said to them. Just so you know, we do not knock anybody else's ice off. You're the only one that we ever go out to knock their ice off. No, but
No, you can tell the truth. It's okay.
No, I always felt like I got along with you well enough. My feeling is that when I told them to go out there like one day and then 2 days later to do it, my feeling is we're so close. At this point,
Watch the nails.
go knock the icicles off. I mean, I just want it, you know, I don't want it to be, here's what my fear was, okay? We're this close. We're going to put this thing at the end of the month. And then God forbid something happens between now and the end of the month. And that's why I told Dave and Joey's book, I'm like, just, can you guys just, well, you know, Frank, I'm like, just go and do it. So I just don't want a problem between now and then, and let's go and do it, and we'll get you taken care of and stuff. So, but no, Joe's a good guy. You guys went to high school together? Yeah. Here in Bristol?
No,
Terryville.
Yeah, so of course the first time that he was at my house, I'm like, what's he doing here? Because I certainly wasn't expecting him.
Yeah. He's a nice guy. He handles a lot of stuff, and I'll tell you, when he puts it up, when he puts the gun protection up, it's perfect.
I mean, well, even the whole, when he came back and we did it, I mean, the way... I'll trade with you, okay? I don't want to have to make the phone call again.
Well, no, I think that, and, you know, and also, you know, we got to get...
Okay, I really have to go.
We'll see you.
Okay, we're here this morning in Bristol, Connecticut, on a nice cold winter day here in towards the end of March. And here with obviously Dermot Innes from Guardian, kind of talking about this attic, what we're trying to accomplish today. And Dermot, what do we got here?
Well, one of the biggest problems you have in the north is attics that have icicles on the gutters, and that's caused because most of the insulation cannot get all the way to the eave soffit. What we've done here, as you can see, is we've run the E-Shield 11,000 down past the insulation, down to the base plate, run it up about 2 feet. And what this does is it reduces the amount of heat that can get out to that eave soffit, causing the snow to melt at the eave and causing that ice damming problem.
And so in this attic here, we also had some issues up towards the front, which were under insulated. And we're doing here today. We're doing a rafter install. Primarily, they got a lot of heat up here that's escaping. And
well, there's a couple of problems with this attic. First of all, right beside you there is a furnace or a chimney stack, which gives off heat as well, and that's going to cause the same problem. It's going to cause the snow in the wintertime to melt. But also, you can see a lot of this insulation is old. There's a lot of cracks and crevices. So in order to stop the heat loss that's occurring during the wintertime, we've decided to go with two ways. One way is we're going to put the E-Shield 11,000 on the bottom of the rafter, but we're also going to do over top of this insulation right here, over top of the rafters. Another thing that we noticed is that this is an older home built in the 1920s. They've added additional heating and air conditioning. This tends to be a problem. Even though that these ducts are heated or insulated, come the summertime when this attic gets to be about 150, 60 degrees, this air that's being forced through these vents down to the living space is actually going to be superheated, so you're not going to get the full effect. So what we're going to do is we're going to come along and drape the E-Shield 11,000 over top of that, keeping those ducts cool in the summertime so that they'll get better air conditioning.
great.
Okay.
Anything else you can think of for this one? This is, I mean, it's a.
This is actually these are the type attics we look forward to doing because they do have so many challenges, and it just has to do with the construction, is how these homes were built so many years ago, and now people, like I said, are adding air conditioning units and heating units into these homes. So these types of applications are applications that eShield is going to do a great job for.
You know, it's interesting as we look up here to some of these, how the roof was done. You can almost see, because this is an older roof, but it happens in a lot of older homes, that the heat would just go right through the decking, escaping in, obviously melting the snow and then causing icicles, ice dams, as well as the cost of energy to.
Oh,
yeah.
Exactly. I mean, one of the things we noticed was you can see the grit from the shingles down here, and that has to do with just the fact that, you know, there is no felt used back then, and this is basically just, there's no OSB, it's wood, and then you put your shingles right over top. We've got all these crevices where the heat is just escaping. So like I said, this is a great application for eShield 11,000. These people are going to notice huge difference in the summertime as well as the wintertime. So we expect to see a large saving in their energy costs.
Awesome. Right here, Dwayne has put the, they put the stuff coming up from the soffit and the eaves, and now they're starting the first course of eShield on the bottom layer. And in this particular application, we're using, what are we using, the 48-inch, Dwayne?
Yes.
We're using the 48-inch all the way across because we've got open space. On the areas over where Mark is at, we're using the 16 or the 24?
24.
24 down in there, pre-done, either 16 or 24. And this again, like Dermot says, is try to get that air so that we don't get the icicles and ice dams that are basically caused by lack of ventilation and insulation. And you can see many of them are using electric staplers, just rolling it across and using power staplers. Is that 10 millimeter, 3/8 inch staples, Dwayne? Dermot mentioned that this smokestack, I guess fireplace, Dermot, kind of.
This is actually your furnace. This is your chimney for your furnace.
And so as that comes up here, coming up through the attic, obviously giving off heat, and again in the wintertime, that heat is rising, hitting the roof, escaping, obviously losing all sorts of energy, melting enough to melt to your snow. And then go down, obviously, and create ice dams and icicles. You know, a lot of people with ice dams and icicles try to put heat tape and other issues when, in reality, think of how much energy you have to lose in order to go through wood, go through shingles, and melt snow. Obviously, pretty dramatic. Okay, we're finishing up here on Mr. Kozlowski's house here in Bristol, Connecticut, and you can see now that all that insulation that was exposed, and all those gaps has now been covered up. You can see that the foil runs all the way up to the top, and then we have a gap for a little air breathing over there, all along the top. And then we come back down the gables, and again you see the floor. Here we've actually covered their ductwork with the E-Shield 11,000 to, since whatever heat gets in the attic, and they're trying to cool that air, now that's protected, and basically you just have a sea of R11 insulated foil. They've had tremendous problems with ice dams and ice sickling, and obviously an older house. This house was built in 1920. So one of the things, we hope to cut their utility costs by about 25%, and obviously cut down on those ice dams from melting snow and the loss of energy that was being expended as it escaped through the attic. I'm up here right now. The attic is getting very hot, and all we have is this one halogen light reflecting off the E-Shield, and just about everybody that has come up here has just felt how warm it is just from that one light. So we're about finished. We're going to be moving to Cape Cod, Massachusetts, do another house tomorrow, but this completes the E-Shield installation here in Bristol, and we hope that this homeowner will be extremely happy with their energy bills, and us being able to stop and prevent their icicles and their ice dams.